because that's Kerbal. It just takes 5 years to load. Do 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 do. But I am gonna do something cool this Wednesday, right? Wednesday. I'm just gonna basically patch the live stream of the SpaceX rocket launch, and I'm gonna open up my Discord, and anyone who wants to like watch it with me or whatever, hop in the Discord. Of course, I'll be streaming on Twitch and on Facebook and on YouTube as well. I might not even do YouTube actually for the rocket launch. I might just close the YouTube stream and just stream on Facebook and Twitch for the rocket thing. And that's, I'm pretty sure that's Wednesday. Hey, I'm gonna quickly SpaceX launch. I'm pretty sure that's the 27th. Yeah, so demo 2 will be, yep, Wednesday, May 27th. 2033 UTC, so that's 12:30 p.m. My time, California time. That's 4:30 p.m. for everyone who lives on the East Coast, and that is like, I mean, that's hella early for you Hawaii peeps. That's, you know, like 7, 8 o'clock. So I don't know what you guys are gonna do. But that's what I'm planning on doing, a live stream. We'll watch the rocket launch. I don't know, like, honestly, it'll be just more of like a hangout. I think I don't have any insight, honestly, any more insight than like the actual NASA or SpaceX live stream will provide, because they're both going to be providing. They might even do the same exact live stream. I don't know. This hasn't occurred before. You know, we haven't had a commercial NASA launch on American soil, so it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. And I feel like perhaps they both spend about an equal amount of money on their like public relations. So who knows what it'll be in the end. Okay, so loaded back in, and technically last time we did line up for a pass around the moon. So technically we did do what I promised to do, and once again I am promising you that we will pass the moon in this episode. 100% guaranteed this time. I did a little bit of digging last night, and I absolutely did not find the reason why the probe and did not connect to the satellite network. I have no idea why it failed. So there's that. But for sure, 100%, we have 2 missions going to the moon. Both of them will pass the moon. This one will be there in 6 days. This one will swing past the moon slightly and then end up right around Minmus. And wait, is that a Kerbal escape? No, it's a Minmus escape. For whatever reason, it is not showing me its the rest of its orbit. So, but when we set it up yesterday, I specifically remembering it coming back down. So I don't think we are in any threat of it like launching itself out of Kerbin and off to anywhere else, which would suck, because if it went anywhere else, we would not have enough energy to come home at all. So we'll have a look-see at that. I know that it's gonna have a little tidy maneuver in about a day. That's why I thought maybe I could mess around a little bit with getting those tourists up into space and back down. What we could do is we could spend a little money and make our launch pad a little bigger, and and make a slightly larger rocket that will utilize a control capsule and then a passenger capsule in order to just knock out both of the tourist thingamabobbers at the same time. So that is an option available to us. So that's what I'm thinking. We or we could just be safe about it, I guess, and just go. I mean, we don't have enough. Do we have enough to? Yeah, we just don't have enough money, period. So we're gonna have to. The reason I did that was because we had to get rid of. And we have 5 contracts. We have room for 2 more. So I don't know what I'm talking about. So let's quickly. Fly around the moon. Gather the event. Return from a flyby of the moon. Okay, so let's grab this. Boop. Was I smart enough to get? No, these are the same. So I don't actually have a Minmus one. That's fly around Minmus. However, we will fly around the moon and probably complete that contract before we reach Minmus, I hope, hypothetically, and we'll be able to complete that mission, come back, and then while we're like around Minmus, start a whole nother mission to go around Minmus. So that's my hopes. So I guess what we'll do is just complete these missions, because I have not figured out how to get the remote tech to work. I'm sure that I just have to go through each and every mod installed, uninstall all of them, see if it breaks the game, and then go again. So again, we're probably deadlocked to about 30 minutes before the game decides to crash again. So. Okay. Doing good on all our resources here. I feel like we already have these. Yeah, we have those, so that's fine. We don't really have to worry about any more experiments. We'll save all of the other experiments for when we go to Minmus, so we'll just close that up. I really wish we had solar panels, but we aren't using any electricity whatsoever, so we should be fine. Hypothetically. On paper, we should be fine. This is already passed, so I guess we can get rid of that. Okay. Watch this. So this has to do. That's right. She's gonna have to do a full orbit before. Before she comes close to. Or I hope. Let's see. This might have been a complete mission failure. If it is, we'll just bring her home. It's not too. Yes. By the time she gets back here, the month comes back around. Okay. And that is in 4 days. So let's just hop here, add a maneuver, and then that will let us add a alarm for that. Counter. Okay, so that will just let us know that that's going to happen on us. So we'll switch back real quick. So we can do Jeb's. Excuse me, Jeb spring. that stabilize. And then turn it off because it uses too much power. Okay. And we're about 3 hours away still from so we'll just speed along to our destination here. That. And game should pop us out of warp right about now-ish. There we go. Line ourselves up, start our burn. It's a real tiny burn, so we don't need too much. Alright, there we go. That should be still kind of off slightly. I mean, we basically did the burn, so. Get one. We're going to probably want to tidy this up just a little bit more. Oop, wrong way. There we go. Actually, we don't need to do anything. This is, I think, about as good as we're going to get. We could try and burn to slow ourselves down a little bit right here, but that's not going to do too much, I don't think. And then when we loop back around, what's our periapsis? Yeah, we're going to burn up in the atmosphere right there. So when we get up to this point, we're going to have to attempt to slow down slightly. But we will worry about that when we have to worry about that. And what we can do is add is it here? No, that's closest target to distance. And then we just go and make this guy our target. It is. Target distance. There we go. And this. And then we'll put that. I mean, I guess the best thing to do would just be to put pop. Alright, then I guess we'll use the maneuver node method. So bap, bap, okay, then. Must, close, and counter. Yeah, that's a better naming scheme. Okay. I'll know what that means, who cares? Almost look like in this museum. Alright, so Valtine is going to be at the moon in 4 hours, so we'll flip to her. And I don't think she needs to make any real adjustments to her flight plan. She might have to burn a little bit when she gets to that periapsis to prevent her from straight crashing into Kerbin. Yeah, we're gonna have to burn right about here. Alright. It should be... There's the Mun. I mean, we're gonna still be pretty far away from it. Really not close. Up. Yeah, very close to it. Let's just kill this because it's interrupting. And then I can't shake the feeling that we're gonna crash and burn into the atmosphere here. So we'll wait till we're outside the effects of the moon before we 380. Once we're outside of the effect of the Mun, then we can evaluate whether we're going to crash and die. But for now, let's get into the orbit of the Mun here. There we go. Alright, so I reevaluated our orbit for us. And yeah, we're about 3, so we are pretty high. So what we're going to do is just do just the quickest of the tiniest of retrograde burning here. Yeah, we need to do retrograde, so we're going to do just the tiniest of slowdown here. To sort of prevent us from dying on our return approach. Alright. And right now we should be within the moon biome. So we'll pop. Guess not. Where is the moon? It's over there. Huh, are we gonna miss it? I guess... I mean, I thought we were in... Alright, I guess we'll burn a little bit then here. Just to kind of sort of get us back to this biome here. Alright, then we'll...
That is the guild burger.
Still technically not in the moon biome here. That's frustrating, because according to this, we are clearly having an encounter. Oh, it's 3 days from now. Okay. We have 5 days. This will be 4 hours from now, so we can do this real quick. This will be 1 day from now, so we can do this real quick. We still have time on that Minmus. Alright, still have time. Okay. And then, what's this? 5 hours. Okay, tons of time, so we can go boop. And there's the moon. Okay. Look at that. There she is. Stop at day. Gonna come to this point right here. And then we'll do science. Do a bunch of moon science. So we'll, yeah, let's observe, and then we'll pop this open, and we will log the temperature, the pressure. I mean, it's still 0, but you know, now it's the moon 0. We'll observe this mystery goo as it does mysterious goo things. Who knows what it does? It's goo. And then if we can get into it, did we... wait, does this rocket not have the... Oh, man. Is it just the other version, or am I thinking of a different game file? I could have swore that I put... oh well. Alright, let's pop up Velutina. And she will record those observations. She'll look at the moon. And then we'll flip back around. We'll make sure she can get back into the cockpit here. Oh my god, I hate the camera. The camera controls for IVC EVA really sucks. Because it will like automatically reset you sometimes. And there we go. Her mission is basically complete. Now we just got to get her home safely. Still got a day of 45 minutes. And now we're going back down, and our periapsis is like in the center of the Earth, which is not good. So what we're going to want to do is shoot to about there and just enough to try and get us like out of trouble, you know. There. It's at 71. I guess we could go a little lower there. And that should be, come on. What's that? 9,000? No, it's 2. We want it to be right about 37. Perfect. And that should, like, we'll hit the atmosphere will slow us down, but we won't be going so fast that we blow up when we hit the atmosphere. And it's only 100, so we'll have roughly 600 left, and we'll use all 600 of that to really slow us down when we hit the thick atmosphere at 37. And then we'll ditch that tank entirely, which will make us lighter, which will make our terminal velocity much smaller, and the forces of, you know, re-entry will be less on us. Okay, so that's going to happen in an hour, and we still have a whole day left, so I guess we are good to warp to that maneuver, really, honestly. Let's add, make sure don't mess this up.
one of us here fight with no shit. Yeah, not even a single hit.
They're addressing it on a shot.
Good, we still have tons of power left. I'm gonna get her relatively lined up. About 8 minutes till we are burn home. Okay, 50 seconds. Perfect, so we'll get a bunch of, all these milestones will get us some cash. So we could use those to, oh, I shouldn't have deleted that. And hopefully,
Mermaid girl with the thought color.
yep, all we gotta do is splash down a return science. So, perfect. Alright, 20 seconds until our return burn. It's a real quick burn, only 6 seconds long. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. And burn is confirmed as complete. And 35 is not bad. Here, we can do just a little bit more. Perfect. Alright, 30, you know, that's even better. Oh, the engines are still on. Alright, that's fine too. 50 is fine too. Like, the higher up that's still in the atmosphere is going to catch us. In fact, it'll probably be a little safer to do it up this high. Alright, so that's, she's on her way, basically. And that'll be an hour, right? So an hour, we still have a day. One Kerbal day is like 5 hours. So we can come to right about this is where the atmosphere starts, so we can come to here and still have time to switch back. Okay, there we go. Then we'll put her on. So we have re-entered the atmosphere. And our apoapsy is now far, well, it's getting close. So we're going to burn this entire tank to try and slow us down as much as we possibly can. I will save some. Because I think we're going to have to, we're going to do another loop here. And I don't quite want to ditch the stage yet, just in case we got to do some stuff. What I should have done before we started the re-entry process is oh, well, sorry I missed you. Yeah, the object of this is to go to the moon and then come back, and then go to Mars and then come back, and then not die. But thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. So we'll just let her burn for a little while. We're definitely gonna have to do a second pass because she's already going up again. And there we go. Okay, so she's busting out. So her next pass is gonna be in another hour. So we got 5 hours before that comes around. So this will be a what, 50,000? So what we could do is this. We can come up here. This will be about 30 minutes. We'll come up here. It's always better. So the apoapsis is the highest point in your orbit. The periapsis is the lowest point in your orbit. The apo and the peri surflex, it always transfers no matter where you are, right? But the second part of the word, the apoeps, right? That differs depending on what like celestial body you go to. So like for Earth, it's called the G. So the apogee and the perigee would be your highest and your lowest point if you were going around the Earth, and so on and so forth. All of the different celestial bodies have a different what's it called? A suffix. But the P and the A are the two commonalities of the word, I guess is what you'd say. So we're just going to come back up here. It's always easier to change either one of these at its opposite pole. So in order to make the periapsis higher or lower, you would want to burn at your apoaps, right? And vice versa. And to make it go higher, you would add more speed to the orbit. You would burn what's called prograde, right? And to make either one smaller and slow down your orbital speed, you would burn retrograde. So we're going to come up to the apoapsy, and we're going to make it just a little bit smaller here. We're going to take this from about 50 to right about 45. And then do another circular pass. And we're going to try to do all that before Jebediah gets to the Minmus. Even though, I mean, technically he could be hovering in the Minmus for a while before we go and switch over and grab Minmus Science. The problem is whenever you are this close to the surface, it like slows down how fast you can warp because the game uses a real-time physics warp. So the faster you make time go, the faster like the forces of physics acts on your craft. So crazy stuff can happen if you are going too fast and you time warp. Your entire like craft can just disintegrate and blow the fuck up. It's great. I love it. Okay, so we're here. Pop retrograde real quick. We're going to burn ever so slightly. Get this to about 40. There we go. And that's 36 minutes. We have tons of time. So we'll warp right about we'll warp right about here. How much energy we got? We still have tons of battery power. Getting really low on fuel, but that's fine because we're here. No matter what, even if we run out of fuel, the fact that it's at like below 70 means at some point eventually she will fall back to the planet, right? Like the forces of gravity will drag her back down. The forces of gravity and drag, atmospheric drag. We're just trying to do it in a more slow, controlled manner. And, okay. Really all you need to know is, like, you want this number, the delta V, you want that big high, right? And then you want go places, you prograde, and stop going places, you retrograde. That's really all. I mean, honestly, this game is about slapping together things that shouldn't work, and, like, you're just kind of not knowing what you're doing, and it somehow, for whatever reason, it generally comes out okay, or everything blows up, and it's hilarious, you know? The shit blowing up is the best part of this game, and that's why everyone loves it so much. Alright, we're gonna... We'll do a little bit of burning here. I'm gonna save my fuel for one more pass, because this is still very high. Wow, we're gonna have to do another whole pass, probably more than likely. Yeah. Okay. How much time do we have until? Still about 3 hours. Okay. Hello, Discord friends.
Hello!
I think you're bleeding through on the stream, so be careful what you say.
I just had to plug my headset in, sorry.
I'm actually just kind of finishing up this mission too, so we can get started very shortly. Won't be long. Oh yeah, okay, so she's definitely gonna not go around twice. That's good news. So we're gonna burn all the fuel we can now. Ditch that stage. Let the heat shields deal with it. That's not good. That's the opposite of good. Come on, get off me. Alright, goodbye. Have fun exploding. Okay. Now, this is the most stressful part of any like space mission is the re-entry, and half of it has to do with like the craft overheating and blowing the fuck up, right? And then the other half has to do in real life has to do with like parachutes. In real life, like there is a 70% chance that the parachute just would not open on the Apollo missions. And it took them months and months and months and months of figuring out how to make the goddamn parachutes open the right way so the capsule would blow up and they would all die, like, on impact. So, but at Kerbal, the parachutes just work. So, you know, we don't have to worry about the parachutes not working. What we do have to worry about is me mistiming the deployment of the parachutes and them snapping because we're going too fast. But that's not going to happen, I think. Yeah. Yeah, you had... Yeah. Traditionally, for some reason... Well, here's a cool story. Traditionally, all the parachutes were packed by women, right? And that was a tradition handed down from World War II because a majority of the airborne divisions would have their parachutes packed by women, because the mentality behind it is that they would pack it more with care because they knew their husbands, boyfriends, and like love interests were all jumping out of planes, and they would be more like precise and careful about how they did it. So, you know, parachutes, man. So we're gonna get that drag chute. That'll slow us down enough to pop the main parachute, and then we'll wait just a little bit to we're about below 3. Now we'll pop the main parachute. These will both be in drag mode. They'll both deploy at roughly the same time. And we're free to accelerate this. There was a lot of test capsules in which the parachutes at this stage just tangled and did not open because they had creases, they were misfolded, the wire deployments were just shaped wrong. The plethora of problems that they encountered with these goddamn parachutes, and it's something that like we would never think about, you know? Like when you talk about the Apollo missions, when you talk about the Suez, you don't ever think about the parachutes that were put on these capsules, and we never really like consider like how much effort it went into engineering and designing parachutes that could basically handle the... I mean, these capsules were a couple tons, you know? So, real impressive. Every last detail that went into any space mission was just so, like... So, a lot of care went into it, you know? A lot of effort went into these space missions, and that's why they're so cool, and that's why they're so, you know, important to us as a species. So that was a pretty good mission. We got 98 science. That's pretty good. More importantly, we got a lot of missions complete, so we got some cash money. So we got enough to upgrade some stuff. Uh, ba-ba-da-ba-da. I want to get solar panels. That's what I've been talking about this entire time. So we're going to grab the solar panels. Boop. And then, do we have any left over? We have enough for one more. This is going to be... I really want to get airplane parts because, you know, airplanes. But at the same time, I feel like it would be more prudent to start putting stuff into landing so we can actually do like an Apollo-esque style mission. This can hold 4 crew.
Start building into your summon sphere grid.
Yeah. Oh my god. Shut up about Final Fantasy. I'm so tired
Nice
of
one,
hearing
Anthony.
about fucking Final Fantasy. Okay, so we're gonna grab this one, and then when we get Jebediah's Minmus, we'll grab this one, and it will give us some cool hitchhiker storage, and then we'll do this cool thing where we're gonna drag like a shit ton of Kerbals to the moon, and we're gonna individually land them. I think would be the idea behind that. And it also gives us some cool space station parts, so we can make like a mini space lab, which will be kind of cool. And then, yeah, Space Lab 2021. That would have been a great show. Too bad it was just like a one-off joke. Okay, real quick, I'm going to go and finish this Minmus mission because it's almost done. And the game hasn't crashed on me yet, so I'm going to capitalize on the fact it hasn't crashed yet. Okay. So he's 4 hours away. So we're going to just... Does he need to do a burn? No, that was there to remind me that the stars... The past is real. Okay. So let's hope we don't have to do 19 different burns. No, we're good. So he's going to come right into it. We're just going to use the power of... Stop. Use the power of time warp. Basically all we do is step to the left. There we go. Okay, so there's the periapsis. Let's go here. And... land at Cthulhu's house. I mean, I could try and find, like, the analog to Santa Monica and Crash Riot. I mean, that's easy.
I meant, well, you're gonna have a riot.
Oh. I thought you meant the game company Riot. Rioto sucks. I hate you, Rioto. Alright, okay. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to do the safety procedure that I do for all missions, which is have the astronaut, thank you very much for that Flat Earth reference, whoever the fuck that was, and,
That's me.
and, oh, fuck. They have to grab all this science. See the mystery goo? Look at this lava lamp. Just doing nothing. Alright, cool. Did I do this one? I did that one. Okay. So we'll pop Jeb out. Do the EVA up here. And then we'll have him grab all this for safety. Thank you. And this is why I want to bring a scientist, is because not only does a scientist allow... Here, let me grab this real quick. It's hard to talk and do at the same time. Oh, I didn't do that. Because a scientist could activate... Oh, here it is. Right up here. I can finish my SOTs now. So you can see here that like we get the green bar here. It's only partial science. If we had a scientist chilling out with us, we would get the full data from it. So that's kind of why I want to get off of these crappy single-person capsules and get into two-man missions, so I can drag a scientist along with us, so we can milk more science out of these missions. That's why it's so important to grab these dumb scientists. Also, the scientists can do stuff like activate experiments on EVA rather than just within the capsule, which makes doing this a lot easier. And I try to make it a point to always grab the science just in case I have to literally ditch out of the craft, because that could be a possibility. If I had forgotten to put parachutes on this, there would be a good chance that I would have to just bail out of the craft itself while it's still re-entering, and use the parachute that my Kerbals have to land. Alright, so that's a successful Minmus mission. Before I forget, I have to quickly jump back to the Space Center and check to see if the mission's updated so I can get the Explore the Minmus mission to gather even more science and cash money. Yep. So boom. So there we go. Boom. Alright. Boop. Boop. And then this is all bullshit. Ooh, wait a second. Is this the one I'm using currently? This is the one I'm using currently? I don't know if we'll reach this speed at this altitude. We're probably going to be going like way slower or way faster, but we'll try. You know, what's the hardest that will happen? This is a new mission. I've never seen this before. There's now like little resource binomes on the moon in Minmus that I've never encountered because it's new in patch 1.8, and the last patch I played was 1.6 or something like that. Alright, let's bring him home. Oh, don't crash. And now, real quickly, did this... Okay, so it did not count. But, what we can do is... Okay, that counted. That counted. Okay, so it did count. So, good. We can totally cheat. Alright, so we'll just get him home. And that should be simple. Minmus is easy to return from. Our periapsis right now is about 34. That's already perfect. We don't have to do really much of anything. Though I am worried that he might overheat at that altitude. So what we're going to do is we have tons of fuel left. So right when we get a little close, we'll... Whoosh, that was bad. When we get a little close, we'll knock our orbit just a little bit off so that our periapsis turns into something a little more reasonable like that. Okay, beautiful. Perfect, awesome, cool, good job. Pop that. Let's go home. Oh, y'all doing the Pokemon gamble in Discord?
Yeesh. My team sucks.
Pokedex.
It's all like basics.
Alright, here we go. And I think it's a quick burn. Only 10 Delta V, so it should be quick. I mean, it's literally half a second burn. It's almost kind of pointless. I mean, with the mods, we're not using like real atmosphere mods or anything like that, but really this is just to be absolutely safe. Because you never know, like, if a game bug is going to show up because you're going too fast. Old habits die hard, you know?
Watch my
60, that's a lot, but who cares? We're doing fast. We're going fast and fast and loose on this one. There we go, 58. That should be fine. 60,000. So we're gonna probably do 1.5. We might do 3 orbits, but I think at this speed, using my best guess, we'll probably only do like 2 re-entry videos. Thanks, Damien. Appreciate it. If you got a Twitch account, go to basically the same exact channel, just with a underscore in between the crags of the 47. I'll appreciate that. Alright, here we go, we're gonna come down. We actually have a little bit less fuel than Valentine when she was coming for her return, but that kind of, I don't know, it does kind of worry me a little bit. It should take more energy to get to Minmus than the Mun, for whatever reason. Minmus is kind of, especially since, I mean, I don't know who saw last time, but we did get a little bit of an orbit boost because we did pass the Mun on our way to Minmus. So it should have taken less fuel to complete this mission, which means I was inefficient somewhere at some point. Which doesn't surprise me, honestly. I'm not doing any math or anything. I'm just literally flying everything by memory and feel. There was a time... Oop, let's close this. There was a time when I did do a lot of the math behind some of these orbital mechanics, and I specifically played a game just so I could, like, learn. And right about the time when I started trying to learn how to calculate planetary transfers is when I just gave up, because like there's just not like a whole lot of good information on how to calculate those planetary window transfers at all, or like there wasn't a whole lot of information about how to know when and where to change your inclinations. So I kind of gave up on doing 100% of the math, and I only do part of the math now.
Like shitty indirect proofs where you assume temporarily that so and so.
Yeah. Did we... Oh, I wonder if... We might be able to complete this stupid heat shield one. We just have to... What's our periaphys going to be? Not low enough. I just don't think we're going to drop to the speed fast enough in this range band, just because we're going to be coming in at like 27, 26, you know, 100 meters per second. I think that's what's going to be in the end. And that, I mean, if you want to know what that calculates to in American, hang on, there should be one. How do I? There's an option that I could show you idiots what that is.
Translated into correct.
Yeah, correct. Custom. It's somewhere in here. There's one where it will. I mean, it won't actually do mile per hour, but it'll tell you Mach. And if you know the conversion rate for Mach, yeah, there it is. If you know the conversion rate of Mach, you could easily, you know, figure out how fast you're going in miles per hour. All you need to know is the, you know, speed of sound. Miles per bullet of football fields. Yeah. That's my new favorite measurement. Oh, the other day, dude, so these flat earthers are starting to... So there's a group of POs who call themselves Station, and they crack me up, because, you know, they're just pretending to be flat earthers for comedy, and they're hilarious. And I asked this one dude, what's the distance to the moon, right? Because like a lot of the basis of like flat earthology is like we see too far, right? But then it's like, okay, why is the horizon always fixed right around 3 to 4 miles away, right? And a lot of them will say, because of atmospheric density, you can't see that far, like the limitations of your eyes themselves. So that leads me to ask, okay, how come we can see the moon then? Like, how far is the moon? Is the moon within 3 miles? Because if the moon's within 3 miles, my dude, I could easily just hop in a weather balloon and go to the moon. Like, ain't nothing stopping me from going to the moon if it's only 3 miles away. And the guy, I asked this dude, I was like, okay, how far is the moon? And he told me a couple hundred yonders. And I was like, alright, what does a yonder translate to? And he's like, you don't even use the yonder system? Scoff. And I was like, oh my god. I walked right into that one. He got me good. I was like, damn. Good bird.
I think that's kind of cool. They call themselves Station, so it sounds like they're calling themselves that intergalactic being from Bill and Ted.
Yeah. I think that's where they got it from. They're a bunch of old dudes, so it's probably actually where they got it from.
Well, can I take a
Okay, let's. This game, like, can be super pretty, man. You know? I think it's F11? No. F10? No. F1. F2. Ah, yeah, there he goes. Look at this. This game is gorgeous.
For sure.
Yeah, my dude. Okay. Whoop! That's scary when you fucking warp time without the HUD. Oh. He has been in this tiny little one-room capsule for 18 days. Like, this is literally, he's just been sitting like this for 18 days. Oh man, we gotta get him home.
The need to utilize bodily functions has left him.
Look, he's just insane. Look, he could care less. Look at this dude. He's just like, yeah, boy, space. Oh man, I love these guys.
It looks like he's in that reasoning stage, like, let it crash. I want it to crash. Just
Yeah, let it crash. Yeah. Jeff probably wants it to crash. He is insane. I would not put him past it. He's like, imagine the explosion.
Yes, oh, watch me. Look.
Witness me, brothers. He's immortal anyways. I forgot to turn off like permadeath, so Jeff can never die. He'll always come back sometime. He just needs to sleep for 3 days or something. Usually orange suits I try to protect, like I try to protect Velveteen, Jeb. Jeb is like classic, you know, Bill, Bob. I try to keep them alive the best I can. Every other single astronaut I hire and buy, they're expendable. I do not care about them whatsoever. And there'll be a lot of crashes, because we're going to start getting into some airplane shit. And let me tell you, that airplane shit is crazy. At the end of this, we're definitely going to make an the main goal is to make an SSTO, and we're going to go to Duna, because I've never made it to Duna, and I absolutely want to make it to Duna. Or, let me rephrase that. I've landed probes on Duna. I've done like a semi-successful rover mission back in the day. I'm putting a Kerbal on Duna. It's happening. For reference, there's the moon. There's Mimas, the other moon. There's Duna. We're going there. It's the Mars analog. So. Okay, so here we go. We're coming down to our lowest point. About 63. If I save all of this delta V, I could reasonably actually pull off this mission we have. The only problem is I have to do oh wait, is it because I'm in time warp? No, that's weird. 1.25. Oh, it has to be at 2.5. Okay, then we can ignore this entirely. We can ignore that entirely. For this one, what I plan to do is build a rocket that will basically still crash into the Earth, but then just launch the SRB straight at the moon, because I think that would be hilarious. And then this one I'm going to use a remote AI robot to make these two dumb tourists like semi-orbit the moon. It'll be great. They'll test the ComSat and everything. So we must have passed, yeah, we must have passed the periapsis. We did not lose any altitude whatsoever, and that makes me worried. So I guess we gotta do one more trip. Sorry, my dude. I guess a couple more hours in the capsule. The hyperbolic time chamber.
Good, get me.
Oh, that's not.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Victor. I'm just finishing up this garden mission, and then we'll play. Alright, so I expended all of it to try and get us as low as possible. So now it's just gonna be a matter of falling with style. This is gonna be a very long deorbiting process, I think. I feel really, really, really bad. Really bad for Jeb. Not that he minds. I mean, he's happy as fuck about it.
No. So, wow. Dude, piece of shit. Fucking goddamn brand new land destruction decks. Fuck them.
No magic.
Hey.
Stop talking about magic on my stream.
I hate this.
Banned. I'm gonna mute you,
I'm
I
at-
swear.
I'm at 93%. I am among the top players.
Alright, Mr. Eradicate.
Fucking red mana. Now I can't even. God. Piece of shit land
Alright, here we go.
destruction.
Back into that's mean, Brett. I'm going back. I will say, and I mean, this mission is basically on autopilot now, so I guess, I mean, I could say it. Oh no, I'm not gonna say it. No, I can right click the parachutes, but I will say, like, this is the furthest we've gotten in a while where the keyboard doesn't glitch on us. So, maybe I fixed the problem by doing nothing at all, which usually is how I fix most problems. Hey Lana, welcome. You missed the Monumentus, but you will see the successful landing. You missed the flyby, but you will see the second successful landing. I made one successful landing. We talked about parachutes today, and how interesting parachutes actually are in reality, and how like automatic they are in the game. And like a little bit about the history of parachutes. I'll probably just repeat the same exact story, because I mean we're gonna have time to kill. Like Jeb falls back down to the ground. $49. I would say I miscalculated my return burn, but that implies that I did any calculations, and I did absolutely zero calculations. I just kind of sort of said, yeah, this will make it, and went with it. When, you know, maybe I will make some slides, and one of these days we'll actually, maybe when we do like the full Apollo style mission, I'll sit down and we could calculate, we could really do a lot of the math. And I'll prepare some slides, and by prepare I mean steal them from the internet. And we can kind of get a little bit into the nitty-gritty of what actually occurs in a Hohmann transfer, which is when you go from one orbit to another orbit, and then what kind of goes into calculating how much total energy you're going to need for the whole project. And then we'll talk just a little bit about like phase angles. And phase angle is real simple. It sounds fancy, but it's not. It's just like when you want to burn on your circle, so the angle between the point on your orbit and the optimal time to burn for your circle to go to another circle. That's all it means, right? So we talk a little bit about that, and that will be for when we get the big rocket, the big boy rocket, that will carry not only like a 3-man capsule, but also a 2-man lander, and that will fully like represent the Apollo mission in its totality. I think that's kind of sort of a plan for that. But again, that's a lot of math. So I'll try to make it as quick as I can, because I know it can probably get very boring very quick, because it is, I mean, it's literally rocket science. It's literally physics and orbital mechanics, and quite frankly, it's dense and it's hard to get through. But I'll try my best. I definitely have some recommendations for people to go and watch who will probably do like a far better job than I'll ever do of explaining all these concepts. If you don't already know, Scott Manley has a great YouTube series about Kerbal Space Program, and he taught me basically everything I know about this game. So highly recommend Scott Manley. There's also DB Orbits, and Matt, what's his last name? Matt something or whatever. He's pretty good too, but he's more or less about like actual rocket design than the math behind everything. But definitely, like, if you've never seen, I would check out Scott Manley. He is a great character. He is a rocket scientist, DJ, programmer with a YouTube channel, and like a lot of people, like when they first get into Kerbal and they really first start to dig into like the Kerbal community, they usually end up with Scott Manley, and he usually does a very good job of explaining very complicated ideas in very simple terms. So this is probably going to be the last pass. Our apoapsis is below 70. Our periapsis is dropping wildly. So we're either going to crash and burn, or we're going to live. So honestly, there's really nothing we can do. I've jettisoned the engine. Right now we're just a tiny little heat shield, and that's it. Honestly, we do have this service bay that, if it exploded, would give us a little extra time to not die. All of the science, Jeb is holding on to all the data, so all we need is for Jeb to survive. Though I would love to get a refund back on all these parts, because money. Space programs are expensive, you know? Usually at this point in time, there would be like a complete radio blackout. Not only are the radio antennas stored, so they couldn't be transmitting in the first place, but also the heat is so much so that just no information would go through. At about this time, the shortwave radio built into the nose capsule would be reactivated, and it would be like, hey, we've successfully re-entered the atmosphere. And then, you know, you would hope that the parachutes go off. Parachutes are crazy. As I was saying earlier, the amount of work that goes into making sure parachutes like actually work properly is immense. So many things can go wrong. Like if the parachute is folded wrong in any way, it won't deploy like this. It'll just flip out, spin like a crazy motherfucker, and tangle itself. And so, traditionally, all of the parachutes in the NASA program were always folded by women. And this is a tradition that goes back all the way to World War II during the first airborne operations. All of those parachutes were actually folded by women as well, and not the actual soldiers before they jumped. Because the idea behind it is that like these women had boyfriends, husbands, etc. who were jumping out of these planes, and they would be more likely to be like far more careful and precise with their folding. And it's also assumed that women are better suited at precise and more detailed tasks. That's not my personal opinions. I'm just stating what like the idea mentality was behind that, right? And so we did it. We landed. So that's, usually it was always traditionally the women who folded to pack the parachutes. And it's still technically that way, though we don't really use parachutes because most of our space operations are done via the Soyuz, and before that we were using the space shuttle. So you can imagine a major issue and a major hurdle that a lot of guys had to go through again was redesigning modern parachutes. That was definitely a challenge that the Dragon crew had to go through. That's why they did so many re-entry tests. There were so many re-entry tests for the Dragon crew, and it took them 10 years just to get to where we are, launching for the first time on Wednesday. That was great. 185 science. We're now up to 207. That's very good. One mission was enough for 2 data points, so we'll grab the things I was talking about. We'll grab the landing. This isn't the one I want. Exploration, because this will give us some cool stuff. And that one, and then what is this construction? Docking port. We're gonna need the docking port. This is the Junior though. Did I grab? Does this one have? It has the service airlock. Does that work as a docking point though? I don't know. We'll have to do some experimentation. We'll have to do some real actual engineering science. So there's a fancier parachute for a bigger one. Okay. So we're gonna need the docking port to do the Apollo style landing. So we're gonna have to re-evaluate our priorities here. And we're definitely gonna probably need larger engines, because we're gonna make something monstrously large. So this is what we need for though we usually get the prototype for it. This sucks. I'm gonna have to get 2 empties just to get the one that I really want. I'm gonna pocket this remaining science for next time, and then next time we'll do our tourist launch. We'll make a basic plane so we can go crash into the water, and then we'll start designing. We'll lay down some of the groundwork for the Apollo style mission. I think is what we're gonna do next time. On Wednesday, the 27th at 12:33 my time, I am going to do a live stream hangout. Because it's crew demo 2. It is, this is the big one. This is literally returning human beings to American launch. This is it. This is our NASA rocket. We're going back, launching from Cape Canaveral, and we're going back to space. This is a major deal. This is, we're definitely far behind what we should be. We should be, the Orion system should have been going on, and we should have been making, the gateway. Like we should have been doing the gateway missions. We're so far behind, and so this is a huge deal. Like returning American-built rockets, American-built capsules back to Cape Canaveral, back to the Kennedy Launch Center, and so it's going down on 2033 UTC, Universal Time Code, and so that's 12:33 for me, and that's like 4:33 for the East Coast peeps, and that for Hawaii, that's what, like 9, I think, maybe 9. So if you get up early enough, I'm going to open up my Discord. I'm going to try to get as many people as I can into the Discord, and then I'm going to live stream it to Twitch and to Facebook. I'm not going to do YouTube, I don't think. I just don't want this to be like stored on the YouTube channel. And I'm not going to really do like commentary on it, because honestly I have zero commentary to offer. We're just going to all watch it together. So that's what I'm planning to do on Wednesday. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow will be something other than Kerbal, I think. I'll figure it out. Monday, we will go back to flying VR. Monday and Tuesday will be VR, and then Thursday I'm going to take off, and then Friday back to Kerbal. So that's kind of my plan. So that's about it for today. It's about an hour. It's pretty good. We made it all the way through an entire 2 missions without KSP crashing, so successful mission on that one. I'm going to go play Star Wars now. Thanks so much for watching the stream. Thanks so much for hanging out.